Welcome back to another episode of AIME Sales Rally. I'm Angie Kelson, broker owner of Moapa Valley Mortgage. Today I'm going to talk about women benefiting from mentorship in the mortgage industry. So the reason that I think this is really important is when I got into the mortgage industry about 14 years ago, I was trained by a pretty incredible mortgage loan officer. She was a woman, and that's really all I knew. But then as I got further and further along in my career, I realized this is a male dominated industry, and it was pretty intimidating for a woman that doesn't have a real strong aggressive personality to be surrounded by these men that do. But I was lucky enough to be trained by a woman, and so that gave me the confidence that I could do this. I eventually went to work for a company that I stayed with for about 10 years. The owner of the company was an attorney, and he had a law firm / mortgage company. And he was incredible to work with. But again, I was in the office with all men. I was the only woman mortgage loan officer. I was the top sales woman in the company, or the top salesperson in the company. And I do think that it came down to the fact that I was a woman, because the men that I was surrounded with were salesmen. And I was a mother of 5 kids. And I had that mothering instinct, that caring instinct. Like, I wanted to know about my clients. I wanted to know, I cared about their stories. I wanted to know why they were getting into a home, the importance of them getting into a home, and that caring followed through. And the people just gravitated to me as being the only woman in the office. Now, the reason I think that mentoring is so important is because the way I approach things and the way that the males in the office approach things was 2 different ways. And if I had not been trained by a woman, I would have thought I was doing things wrong. I would have thought that I was approaching things the wrong way. And to have another mentor, whether it's a male or a female, having another mentor that has your same personality or your same strengths gives you the confidence to know that you can succeed in this industry with your strengths. You don't need other people's strengths. You just need your strengths, and you just need to develop those. And when I broke off of being a mortgage loan officer and opened my own mortgage company, it was about 3.5 years ago. And to be honest, I was terrified. My husband, who was my biggest cheerleader, he said, if you can do this, I'll be behind the scenes. I'll support you. I'll do all the legal work. We can get there, because as a team, we can make this happen. And so when I broke off and I was my own little company, it was just me and my husband. I didn't have anybody to turn to. And I would reach out to other people in my industry, and they were my competition, and they were just so closed-lipped. Like, they wouldn't share anything. I'd ask them, what's your comp, or how do you handle this situation? And it was almost like this secret club. And I thought, how am I supposed to learn and grow if I don't have anybody to learn from? And then I was introduced to Anthony Costa introduced me to Brawl way back when it was Brawl. And when I realized that there was other people out there in my same situation that just needed a friend, needed a mentor, needed somebody to support them, needed somebody to answer their questions, it was life-changing. And just being able to share my knowledge now with new people coming into this industry, it's twofold. You actually learn when you teach someone. And so as I'm teaching somebody, if I don't know the answers, now all of a sudden I don't know the answer. I want to know the answer. So I'm learning as I'm teaching them. And then another thing too is it makes you feel good to help others. It makes you feel good to see others grow. that's the best part of mentoring somebody, is to see their growth and to see how much you can help them. So in my opinion, then we'll fast forward a little bit. Then Brawl turned into AIME, which is an incredible organization. And then the Women's Mortgage Network. And that's kind of where I found my home, is amongst the women in the Women's Mortgage Network. There was so many women just like me. You can go to Brokers or Better and you can find all kinds of personalities, all kinds of drives, all kinds of ideas. But in the Women's Mortgage Network, those women are so sweet and so kind, and they just want to help, and they want other people to succeed. And I'm so grateful I found them. So a couple of years ago, I was asked by Laura Brandeo to join one of these podcasts with a couple of other women that were mothers and ran a family-run business, which I do have. Most of my employees are family. And I remember she sent me a book after that podcast that said, "Say yes every day." And that's one of the hardest things for me to do, is to say yes to something that makes me feel uncomfortable. But that thought always goes through my head now. So when somebody asks me if I will be willing to speak or go to an event or do something that may make me feel a little bit uncomfortable, that sentence rings through my head: say yes every day. I just have to say, okay, I'm going to say yes. And the difference that's made in my life by just saying yes to those things that make me feel uncomfortable has been incredible. So I'm very grateful for that mentorship that I had with Laura Brandeo, and just the few things that she said that just hit home, that also changed the trajectory of my career. So that is actually my plug right there, is why you should take the initiative to join AIME and the Women's Mortgage Network. If you are a woman, join that network. You will be amazed at how kind and giving and helpful those women in that network are. And then the next step is become a mentor. After you pick a mentor, somebody's always willing to help you. And after you've experienced that help in your life, become a mentor yourself. That's where you will see the next level of growth, is when you are there to support other people. In the beginning, we all need help. We all need the support. The next step of growth comes when you turn around and you start helping others. And I think that's about where I'm at. I don't have a whole lot more to say, but I would just want to thank you for joining me for another episode of AIME Sales Rally. You can watch previous episodes on AIME's YouTube channel at AIME National. And be on the lookout for another episode next Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here in the Brokers or Better Facebook group.